So two types. One, you're pretty closed down, having basically an argument.
Yep.
Or you need to win. And number two is the type that we really want to address.
So the closed one, there's a slide I put up there. And how does one know if they're closed or open? Because I think a lot of times we think we're open, yet we're actually closed. Okay. I put a slide up there that had statements, behaviors, and beliefs. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but some of the statements that we say to ourselves or others from this closed place is our child should be doing something, or our child is wrong, or you use always never statements, or you're asking, why did you do this from that energy? So those are some statements. Some behaviors, this is like bioenergetics. It's, are you holding your breath? Are you like constricted and you're like intense, or are you relaxed and are you breathing full breaths versus the short, quick breaths? Many times when we're in this kind of closed place, we deal with conflict from this not helpful place, which means we're fighting, we're fleeing, we're going inward, and we're just shutting down. Or sometimes the last one is fawn, when you're just fawning your way into the good graces of the other without really understanding what the situation's all about. And then some beliefs is that you have to be right. There's not enough whatever, not enough time, not enough money, because sometimes when I'm in this disconnected place, I'm worried that there's not enough money to do this or do that.
It's usually about money.
I need to be in control of something, or it's either very black and white. You're either doing this or you're doing that. And there's all this gray area that we're not even seeing as a possible resolution to whatever is happening. And then lastly is this really serious? Because think about what happens when real things that are impactful, like illness and
an accidents,
death, those can and usually are considered serious. Whether or not my kid forgot their lunch and I have to go drop it off for them or not, and act as if that's a really serious issue.
Their laundry isn't done.
Done. Can we bring some levity, some humor, which is what Cathy's so good at talking about? It's our best hack for parenting, is be light and humorous and comical versus serious.
I think part of the reason that we do feel like laundry is serious, or not making their lunches serious, or not having a clean room, is we feel like it's on us to teach them. So when they are still not doing those things well, we feel like they're making our job more difficult. And we have this misunderstanding about role modeling and talking about things versus a child. What's the word when you have it perfect, when they have succeeded, when they have perfected an art of something like doing laundry? It's like we want our kids to, there's this great, we actually showed these videos, but one of them is from the movie This Is 40, where she basically, their daughter yells at her and you want me to be perfect in everything. You want me to do everything right. And she's, and you guys are effed up. You know what I mean? You're asking me to do everything perfect when you're not doing that. And that's often our expectation of, my kid has a messy room, they have dirty laundry, and I'm not saying you enjoy that. And I'm not saying you don't say, hey, you're not going to have any clean clothes tomorrow. You can address it. But how big of a deal is that, everybody?
Right.
You know what I mean? Do we have to connect that? Or I'll say it this way. Can you start to notice how you're connecting that to your worth as a parent, and maybe cut that string? Where you start to recognize that this kid is learning, which means sometimes they're going to do well, and sometimes they're going to forget, and sometimes they're going to fail, and you just keep either addressing it in a funny way, or sometimes saying, do you need help with a certain area? Because if you've got a really busy kid who's going to school every day and maybe has after school activities and a really important social life, because don't put down their social life, meaning that's important to them too, like going over to a friend's house or whatever. If you have a busy kid, saying, what pieces can I help you with so this doesn't seem so chaotic? It's okay to help your kid. We talked about that too, because a lot of times we're like, no, they need to learn everything.
Can I give two real examples?
Yes, please do.
So this morning I woke up, my sophomore in high school, I wanted to make her breakfast. I made her breakfast. I made her pancakes. It turned out really good. Last week I tried to make pancakes. They didn't turn out as yummy. Can my kid make breakfast and pancakes for herself? Yes. Am I doing it for her anyways? Yes, because I want to connect with her in the morning and she's busy and she's got to wake up and blah, blah, blah. That's an example of we have taught our daughter how to be self-sufficient in making their own breakfast. And I have decided this morning that I was going to do that for her. So that is an example of we empowered our kid to do it and we're doing it for them anyways to help them out.
Well, let me say this, because Todd just said we taught our kid how to be self-sufficient. I think a lot of people may hang on that and say, then how'd you do that? Because great that you made her pancakes today, but how'd you do that first part?
I taught her how to make pancakes.
Right. But what I was going to say is in real life, when I had 3 girls here and I was working part-time, full-time, some days, Todd's working full-time, there were no choices where she had to make her own English muffin. And she does that most of the time, and pour her own orange juice and feed herself in the morning, because there was a reality to our life situation where you have to be more on the fly. There's no choice.
We had the bandwidth. I had the bandwidth this morning.
That's the key, is that there are times when our kids, of course, they know how to pour a bowl of cereal or to do whatever they need to do. And the big but is you can also come in and occasionally do something nice for your kid for multiple reasons. Number one, because one of our other clips was, I'm like all over the place with this presentation, but we talked about time well spent, which we took from a clip from the bear. And to me, time well spent is like having that opportunity in the morning. It's like a 20-minute window where my daughter's downstairs, maybe packing her bag, looking at her phone, filling her water bottle, and I get to hang out in the kitchen and help make her lunch, or Todd makes her breakfast, and we get this connecting time, and then she's off to school. When we used to have a little longer, because we used to then drive her to school. Now she can drive on her own. But that to me is time well spent. That's a way that I wake up in the morning and go, that I've already succeeded today.
Yeah.
Because I made my bed and then came down and spent 20 minutes with my daughter. Now, those of you who have younger kids, I understand that this doesn't resonate as much because
they can use their version of it.
Correct.
Right.
I'm just thinking about when I was a mom with 3 little kids, I'm like, I need time away from this because I'm getting this 24/7.
Sure.
So I get that. But because this is more about teens, this discussion, you want to find creative ways to do things that feel good and also benefit your relationship.
So can I give my second example?
Please. Mm-hmm.
And so the first example, the pancake example,
yep.
I'm open, I'm connecting.
Yep.
It seems easeful. An example that I am disconnecting or closed about, and I need to figure out how to do it, is on the way to the conference, our daughter Skylar was driving there.